And we're live. Hold on. Sorry. Wait. Pause. It happened again. Why does this keep happening? God damn it. This should be better now.
Can you hear me?
The captions have caught up.
Yay!
You're the most powerful person, Danielle. That is why this keeps happening.
Yep.
Okay, good.
It's true.
Sorry, go ahead. Thank you for catching that early, Jade.
Welcome, my friends, to Chapter 3 of the Ultraviolet Catastrophe, a 5-part mini-series brought to you by Standing Stones Productions and Hearthside Enclave. Today we're playing Going Rogue by Jess Levine, a GM-less anti-fascist RPG based on Galactic 2E by Riley Rethall. It is a game about war, rebellion, and making the ultimate sacrifice. I'm August. You can find me on Twitter at HarpyDora, on Tumblr at StrangeHarpy, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today is Danielle.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I use she, they pronouns, and you can find me on the internet at RedtailTalk90.
We also have Dirk.
Hello, I'm Dirk. I use they, he, and they pronouns, and you can find me at PF Diva in most places or at Hope's Hearth Pod.
And as always, in the illustrious anchor position, we have Shrog.
Hi, I'm Shrog. My name happens in the second half of the alphabet. My pronouns are he, him, and you can find me some places as the Secret Frog, and some places as just Secret Frog, and I'm sure you can find me as other things in other places.
It's true.
Incredible.
Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues and pandemics, and alcohol abuse. Our veils, things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. I think it's probably fair to put content warnings on this episode for, fascism and potentially making the ultimate sacrifice, just because that's the nature of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But with that all out of the way, let's get started. So, Going Rogue, and by extension Galactic 2E, both games are belonging outside belonging games, which means that we have, rather than having dice, the game is kind of run on a token economy, where you gain tokens by taking vulnerable moves and you spend tokens to make strong moves and kind of move the game along that way. It also has another mode of play called idle dreaming, where we discuss things and ask questions and build on the answers that we give, and we'll actually be starting in idle dreaming as we lay out our characters. Each character has a playbook that kind of defines who they are and the actions that they take. Since I am at the start of the alphabet, I will selfishly go first. I am playing Marius, thank the gods for small favors, using the spy playbook. The spy is a skilled operator, highly committed but ruthless. Their power comes from their cunning, determination, and willingness to do whatever it takes. Marius is... too many tabs. Marius's look, according to the playbook, is an impassive face with piercing eyes. They're a kind of short, willowy person with long brown hair, usually kept in a braid, and sharp features. Their wardrobe style is a mandate uniform, hidden pockets, and high-tech goggles. The mandate being kind of like the evil empire. Think of the evil empire in Star Wars as Star Wars is a big touchstone for both galactic and going rogue. And do we want to go ahead and do the playbook questions, or do we want to introduce everybody and then do our playbook questions and relationships?
I think playbook questions, and we'll do the ask up and down after.
Okay. So each playbook has some unique questions to them. My playbook's questions are a principle that I have broken, and that principle is to allow harm by an action is to be responsible for that harm yourself. A principle I will not break is retribution is necessary against anyone who has brought harm. Something that I sacrificed is the family from whom you ran away. More on that later, I'm sure. Something that I'm fighting for is the lover I left in order to protect them. That clearly won't come back to bite me in the ass.
Definitely not.
Some relationships with NPCs that Marius has, and I think Marius is a little unique here because they have 3 relationships as opposed to 2 for everyone else, which makes sense because the spy builds on connections. My first relationship is with Soul. Uses she, her pronouns. She's the maverick criminal who always has what I need. I also have a relationship with Marnie, uses she, her pronouns, and she is the trusting contact I rely on for information. And then, finally, I have a relationship with Kiki, uses she, her pronouns, and she is my daring former squad... Oh, goodness gracious, I can talk today, I promise. My daring former squad mate that I keep in touch with.
All right. I am playing Talinor Jezrin, who uses he, they pronouns, and uses the Knight Errant playbook. His look is a stony, scarred face and penetrating eyes. His wardrobe style is a sentimental pendant, an oft-repaired but well-kept armor, a damaged but functional astroblade. A cause I was once committed to was an interchangeable unit of the Mandate before they committed an atrocity. A principle I abide by is duty to fight for the freedom of the oppressed, and a lost principle burning a hole in my heart is to never harm the innocent. My relationships are with Alwine, who uses they, them pronouns and is part of the Scum and Villainy pillar, the connected and cautious fixer who supplies me with jobs, and Seer, who uses he, him pronouns and is part of the liberation pillar, the rousing and vengeful friend I made recently.
Oh yeah.
Alright, I am next. I am playing Rebel Vanguard, who uses they, them pronouns. Rebel's playbook is the Nova, which is not actually in the Going Rogue playbook, but I looked at the Nova and I was like, yeah, that's Rebel. Rebel's look is friendly face with wandering eyes. Their wardrobe style is simple jewelry, an astroblade holder, and scrounge ups. The first playbook item is before the space between I was, and Rebel doesn't remember what they were before the space between. The next playbook item is 2 things I have and 2 things I'm searching for. 2 things Rebel has are an astroblade and the Mandate's hidden vulnerability. 2 things Rebel is searching for are, their inner balance and respect from those they admire. Rebel's relationships are Aurora, she, her, in the Scum and Villainy pillar, She is their wise and connected mentor with unconventional methods. Rebel's other relationship is with Sam. They, she, he pronouns, and Sam is part of the mandate pillar. Sam is their cynical and inventive lover.
All right, and I am playing Vivian Blackthorn as the Loyal. The Loyal is a stalwart friend, difficult to win over, but unwavering in their allegiance. Their power comes with their tenacity, self-sacrifice, and uncompromising commitment to care for those they are bonded to. Their pronouns are they, them. They have an unflinching face with wary eyes. Their wardrobe style is imposing combat armor and matching disguises for you and a comrade. I didn't see anything skimming through about, vibro axes are like being a thing. They probably have some sort of plasma axe or just a heavy blaster. I haven't picked necessarily.
We can play to find out what happens.
Yeah. One of my questions is 2 qualities I respect are skill and empathy, and 1 quality that doesn't impress me is fame. The Loyal Playbook also introduces the Bond pillar, with which Vivian has a bond with Talonor. The other question I have is, how did my bond earn my trust? Talonor spared me when they could have killed me. My relationships are with Ilya Goodhart, she, her pronouns, part of the Parliament pillar, the Independent X, who I'm still not over, and XV17, the quote-unquote cynical newcomer, who is part of the Intelligence pillar that I wish my comrades wouldn't trust or rely on as much as they do.
All right. And each playbook also has a choice. Bleh. I can talk, I promise. Each playbook has a set of questions that you choose to ask, one to the player to the right of you and one to the player to the left of you. We're asking quote-unquote up and down in the document. So the question that I am asking Vivian is, how have my unique connections or information been invaluable to you recently?
Yeah, the answer is that Sol made a deal with some junk traders recently and put me back in touch with XP17, who is the only link I still have to the Shadowlamp Intelligence Squadron, who were all murdered 3 years ago. XP17 was their reconnaissance droid and the only survivor.
Fun. And the question that I'm asking Talonor, what is one lie that you caught me in, and how did it make you feel?
The reasoning you gave Talonor that helped inspire them to fight alongside you was, in part, a lie. They're in too deep to back out now, but it's made it hard to trust you again.
Oh, yeah.
My first question is to Marius. What did you do that inspired me to fight alongside you?
Marius told you that joining the cause was what helped them get over losing Kari, their lover, which may have been a teensy bit of a lie by omission, but it helped get you functional for the cause.
And Rebel, why did I risk myself to protect you recently?
Rebel was doing something with the space between, and it was very challenging and obvious to Talonor that Rebel was struggling with it. So Talonor let Rebel draw on them to complete the task.
Word.
All right. For my questions, the one I'm asking upwards to Talonor is, what intimate moment did we share recently?
Rebel found Talonor crying, almost inconsolable over the death of his husband, and responded very compassionately to his grief.
And the question I'm asking down to Vivian is, why have you been worried about me recently?
And Vivian is worried that Rebel's attitude toward their spiritual journey is too reckless and incompatible with the mission, and is going to get Vivian or their squad mates killed. Vivian's questions up to Rebel is, why don't I trust you? How did you take it when I told you?
Vivian doesn't trust Rebel because Rebel's lover is in the Mandate, and when they told them as much, Rebel informed them that they're not leaving Sam because if they do, there won't be anyone to help Sam leave the Mandate when Sam eventually does do that.
And to Marius, do you feel you deserve my complete faith in you, and why?
So I have written down, yes, Marius is terribly competent at what they do and have earned that faith, and then crossed out a little further on is, thankfully you haven't seen through the fact that they're a fraud like Talonor has. So, you know, just normal things.
Just normal
it's all
things.
very normal. So the next thing that we have to do, we have the pillars, which represent kind of like the outside forces that are acting on the world, and things that we can pick up and put down to kind of represent what the world is doing. The pillars are the Parliament, the Intelligence, the Space Between, the Mandate, the Liberation, Scum and Villainy, and we also have the Bond pillar. The next thing that we need to do is we need to choose the desires for these pillars, which kind of guides the sort of how we want these things to interact with our game. So, do we want to start at the top in the dock with the Parliament?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So the Parliament represents a diverse range of forces, factions, and commitments joining together to try to negotiate their differences and devise a plan that they can all share. We have several desires as options.
So I've got one that I want to veto just because it puts us in a situation that feels too close to real life and is kind of depressing, and that's peace through compromise. So if that's okay with y'all, I'd like to veto that one.
Yeah, that's
Totally fair.
That fully tracks.
I like safety from retribution for the innocent.
yeah.
I was thinking about that one too.
That's a good one.
I think maybe powerful allies.
Sounds good. And how about popular support for the Liberation?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that
That
one a lot.
was definitely a good third one.
Boop. Cool. So, our three desires are powerful allies, safety from retribution for the innocent, and popular support for the Liberation. Each pillar has several moves. I want to go ahead and read the moves now. We can summon one or more people before a council and gain a token. Reveal you have someone's loyalties or allegiance and gain a token. Invite someone to deliberate. If they do, give them a token. And offer help and solidarity, but only with time. If they accept, give them a token. Next is the Intelligence. The Intelligence is clandestine network and messy hierarchy of burdened people who do whatever it takes to rid the galaxy of the mandate. The desires that it has are a chance to turn the tide of war, leverage over liberation members, the heads of mandate officials, classified mandate intelligence, sabotage, reduced oversight, secrecy, willing sacrifices, and to bear the heaviest burdens so others don't have to.
These are good.
These are all really good.
I like a chance to turn the tide of war.
That one sounds good to me.
No one other than Vivian has an NPC related to the intelligence, right?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Well, I know who I want to reference if these guys come up.
Mhm.
I like to bear the heaviest burden so others don't have to.
Yeah. That one's always so good.
Mm-hmm.
Just good fucking food.
Maybe also sabotage, but I already picked one, so.
I was looking at sabotage or the heads of mandate officials. Although I think
So
they both set different tones, because the tone of the heads of mandate officials, it puts the intelligence at a more like viscerally violent, directly violent footing, and sabotage kind of puts them in the shadows. So I think it really depends on how we feel about which way we want it to go.
Another wrinkle is that XP-17 specifically would only care about classified mandate intelligence. They literally only exist to gather information. But they don't have to be our main interface.
I kind of like the idea of secrecy, and we can make that like as broad or as narrow as we want, but I mean, if you're an intelligence agency, you don't want people knowing about you.
That's a good point. I could go for
Shadowlands
secrecy.
tried real hard to be secret. Look what happened to them.
Wait, who tried?
Oh, my backstory characters.
Ah.
Alright, shall we go with secrecy?
Yeah.
Sure.
So our three desires are a chance to turn the tide of war, secrecy, and to bear the heaviest burdens so others don't have to. The intelligence's moves are take someone aside for a secret meeting and gain a token, reveal a previously unknown weakness and gain a token, apply leverage over someone and give them a token, and offer help and solidarity but ask them to complete a task. If they accept the task, give them a token. Next we have the space between. The galaxy is never silent. It is alive and humming with energy that you can feel if you pay attention. Our desires are solidarity, difficult choices, balance, intense bonds and uncontainable emotions, solitary training, enlightenment, revelation, unity with those who came before.
I mean, given the theme of these streams, unity with those who came before.
Yeah.
I
could maybe take it in a bit of a different direction.
I also like, considering what we've discussed with Jade, who unfortunately can't be on stream with us today, intense bonds and uncontainable emotions.
I was looking at that one.
That also plays way into Vivian's conflict with a rebel.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to put out there difficult choices.
Word.
Well,
was
Space
also
Between only needs 2 desires, right?
Oh, two
Yeah.
desires. Yep, you're right. Never mind.
I'm gonna
I mean, listen.
italicize difficult choices.
Okay.
It counts.
Just some.
That's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The Space Between's moves are Invoke Awe and gain a token, reveal an old secret or new truth to someone and give them a token, create an unexpected connection between people and give them a token. The Mandate is an intergalactic superpower that uses its might to control the galaxy with fear, propaganda, and alienation. Its possible desires are untold destruction, unquestioned supremacy, military expansion, an end to the Nova, hierarchy and order, dominion over the space between, and restoration of an old order.
I like Dominion over the Space Between, and in this case, I don't like an end to the Nova.
Yeah.
Legit.
I think unquestioned supremacy, maybe?
Yeah, I think that should be the other one.
Yeah,
I was looking at that too.
Word.
you got that.
I like that. Its moves are foreshadow a larger threat and gain a token, put someone in immediate danger and give them a token, intercept information or supplies and give a token to whom you've taken from.
All right. Next is the Liberation. The Liberation are your comrades in arms, the people of the galaxy who are actively resisting and fighting back against the Mandate. The Mandate's possible desires are retaliatory violence, long-shot missions, hope renewed, military strategy, imagination of a better world, ideological discourse, and working together.
Jade, who has document privileges, has highlighted Hope Renewed, which I do
It's
like.
like we can still hear their voice.
I'm pretty down with that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's extremely Star Wars of us, but it's good.
Yeah.
Listen. I think imagination of a better world.
Yeah.
That jives really well with Hope Renewed.
Yeah, and it keeps us from floundering too much towards like
Grimdark.
total hopelessness. Yeah.
Because we have some angst gremlins in the stream.
Listen.
I was looking at August, but you also count.
Oh, with that desire, it's almost like some of us can, like, vividly picture a better world that, like, we could even see ourselves living in. Funny that.
Cat, choose a spot and sit there.
No.
Preferably not directly in front of my monitor. As he sits directly in front of my monitor. Lay down. There.
Of course.
He likes the hot
liber-
air coming off of the fans.
The Liberation's moves are complicate someone's vision of freedom and gain a token, offer help and solidarity with or without a cost. If they accept, give them a token, introduce dangerous plans and ask others to participate. If they do, give them a token, ask, what does a better world look like to you? And give them a token if they answer. Next is Scum and Villainy. You know, criminals. Their potential desires are uncomfortable bargains, understanding, the jackpot, secrecy, strings to pull, escape from this livelihood, fresh blood, enough credits to get through the week.
And for this one, I'm the only one without an NPC in this pillar, so y'all have at it.
I really like. Go ahead.
I'm eyeing enough credits to get through the
Same.
week.
Exactly the same.
Very good one. I also kind of like both understanding and also escape from this livelihood. So
I like understanding. I think part of the reason that I'm not as into escape from this livelihood is because I'm thinking of Saul and like how she absolutely would not be able to exist in other circumstances. But
legit. All right, and these scum and villainy moves are introduce or invite a betrayal and gain a token, complicate someone's worldview and gain a token, offer help or information at a cost. If they pay, give them a token, and get someone involved in a dangerous scheme and give them a token.
hell yeah. I think we should bully Shrog into reading.
Yes, absolutely.
Bond.
Yeah,
I agree.
no, I did this to myself. So, because we have a loyal playbook, yes, me, we also have the bond pillar. Revolutions are built on trust. Relationships forged in struggle are how allies become comrades and rallies become rebellions. The liberation is full of people who care deeply for each other, but the bond represents the unshakable connection between people who have put their lives on the line for each other time and time again. And it demonstrates what is only possible when your trust in a comrade is unconditional. So this bond is currently between Talinor and Vivian. So Danielle and I have talked about this a little bit beforehand. So our choices here are choose two qualities that the bond has, one that it does not, and one that it wishes to have. So in our case, we've already chosen... I guess we could change our minds if we really wanted to. But currently we have down that the bond has recognition of the self through the other and honesty. It does not have romance, and it wishes to have debts repaid. Though in this case, not necessarily to each other, but to just the world at large.
Mm-hmm.
The pillar moves are, you can ask two bonded players, what shared memory does the situation bring to mind, and gain a token. Can't imagine how that one would possibly come up. Or separate one bonded character from the others and give the isolated one a token. Can't imagine anyone wanting to do that either. That doesn't sound like us.
All right.
Yeah. I guess I should mention the bond also has a whole set of strong lateral and vulnerable moves similar to the character playbooks.
Yeah. That bonded characters can also have in addition to their own playbook moves, which I feel like would be tedious to read them all out. I feel like they'll come up if we use them.
Yeah.
Gee, Vivian and Talinor, how come Mom lets you have two sets of moves?
It's about the trauma.
Love it. So, I think we're ready to start talking a little bit about the action that we're part of. So, when last we saw our characters, they had just exited an airlock. I think that we're still going with that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But there's one problem, and that is one of our number, Fee, has fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, come on, brain, think of things.
Vanished?
Yeah,
Been kidnapped?
yeah, been disappeared. Fee is no longer with us, and that's a problem that we need to solve ASAP. In our memories that we gain as we exit the airlock, we understand that Fee collapsed and has been disappeared to some place, potentially for medical treatment, potentially for nefarious purposes, and we need to extricate Fee from this situation before it goes bad.
Yeah.
So, I think that about covers everything that we had discussed.
I think because of the way the group fate works, I think we should stress that to our new memories, our new selves, the selves that belong in this universe, saving Fee is critical to our resistance as a whole. I think critical enough that it's worth potentially sacrificing yourself for, I think.
Yeah. Fee, I would like to posit that Fee holds some connection to a MacGuffin that may or may not be fungal in nature, that could be leveraged by either the Mandate or the Liberation to put some sort of decisive end to a conflict.
Yes.
So,
I mean, and also, they have a connection to the space between, and somewhat different way from the Nova, but we can't let the Mandate control them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would also like to posit that our flood of the memories from the last two iterations is coming in as we are entering this airlock.
Yeah.
Like just flooding in all at once.
Yeah.
This is for my own purposes. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm worrying about it.
This is a surprise tool that won't help us later.
What could possibly go wrong with having 2 entire lifetimes beamed directly into your brain? Suddenly, without any kind of notice.
Couldn't imagine. Oh my god.
Jade's making jokes in the Discord.
Yep.
Okay, so I think, if you all don't mind, that I can take narrative point on this first scene.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Okay. So, we have entered this airlock. And the ship that ferried us here flies off. And as the new station that we are on begins to re-equalize the pressure and run whatever decontamination procedures, we four are hit with this flood of emotions and memories. And I think Talonor, at least, he was... This Talonor looks younger than the ones that we have seen before. He doesn't have nearly as much gray in his hair, and not as many scars on his face. He still has that kind of stony, stoic expression, but just less weathered in general. And he stands in this airlock with like one hand resting idly on the hilt of his Astra blade, which is strapped to his hip. And as the doors open to the station itself, he begins to exit and stumbles as these memories hit him. And he catches himself, but not before running into the security guards who are on the other side of the door. And I think I am using the fate move, introduce a threat standing in the way of your mission, as the security guard kind of like catches Talonor by the shoulders and pushes him back. And ask us in general, who are you? What is your business here? Don't you know that this station has been locked down?
Normally, bluffing, talking to people would be Vivian's modus operandi. They are usually very good at that sort of thing. And if you tuned in last time, you might remember that in our game of House, Vivian was the first to come back to themselves after their first flood of memories. This time, they are essentially having a panic attack. Their eyes are wide, they are taking shallow breaths, and having a lot of trouble focusing on this moment. And someone else is going to have to fix this.
So I have a vulnerable move.
Mm-hmm.
That I think might be worth pulling out here. And that's put yourself in a compromising situation with no plan for backup and become exposed. And I think what this looks like is Marius like blustering, because they have a mandate uniform. That's what they tend to wear to blend in. And so this is Marius blustering about like, haven't you seen the orders? You know, just trying to like bully this person, but they have no idea if this is going to work. They have no idea, you know, they don't have a plan for this at all, but this is them putting themselves in the line of fire.
Hey, quick question, August. Do you think Marius considers Vivian's failure to step up here failing when someone is counting on me? I guess I could have been taking a vulnerable move as well.
I think going rogue Marius would. I don't think TUC Marius like our Marius necessarily sees that as a disappointment, but the Marius that belongs here would, and I think that if it weren't for the fact that they're trying to desperately to bluff their way through this, they might have some cognitive dissonance about it.
Okay. I mean, I'll take a token. It just,
Yeah,
it
take
kind
it.
of seemed like, it almost seemed like they got this.
Mm,
But yeah, if they are doing this because they have no other option.
Yeah, I think it's a case of glancing around and this Marius's kind of instincts taking over.
mm.
How's Rebel handling this?
That's complicated to answer. Because Rebel looks like they have not had a. Oh, no, I know how Rebel's responding to this. Rebel is dissociating.
Fair and valid.
So yeah, I think Rebel is at this point in time dissociating, and I think I want Rebel to like move to try and help either Talonor or Vivian. Probably Vivian, because Talonor is with Marius by the guards. So I don't, it doesn't do anything for the situation. I think this is a vulnerable move. I think this is running from a problem instead of facing it. Not literally running, but that is what Rebel is doing right now.
Okay.
I think that Talonor, after being kind of pushed away by the guard, kind of shakily regains their footing. And almost like tunes into what Marius is saying halfway through. And rubs the back of his neck and takes a deep breath, and then begins using every single piece of mandate jargon that he knows in order to back up Marius's story. And this is me using the vulnerable move, sigh, and join someone on their quest. So we all have a token. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think the mandate, these guards. So one of the things about belonging outside belonging games is that anyone can pick up the pillars to bring them into a scene. I think the mandate is going to use foreshadow a larger threat and gain a token. And I think the security guards buy this story, but also they're like, well, we're going to write this up to our superiors. And they like take down the credentials that we give them, and pictures of our faces to go and write a report on us arriving here. And they warn us, like, we'll escort you to, I don't know, some communal area, and you're not to leave there until the lockdown is lifted.
Oh boy.
Okay. Is there a moment where these security guards step away for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Rebel was going to try to help Vivian, right?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as the moment is clear, Vivian slaps their hand away and says, You don't get to fucking touch me. Not now.
I wasn't touching you. And no, Rebel wouldn't say it like that. I think Rebel just pulls their hands back and like just walks away, goes over to stand by Talonor and Marius.
Marius is kind of taking a deep breath and then says, I imagine we don't have very much time.
Yeah, probably not.
So I think that might be the kind of quote-unquote end of that scene, unless someone has something else they want to add to it.
I have a general detail. I think I know what is going to point us in Fee's direction. I think we have their animal companion. We have a small lizard with some, like, fungal elements to it, like this alien creature. It definitely has, like, a mushroom cap that looks like a hat.
Yes, good.
It has this, like, short-range teleportation. And I think I think it poofs onto Marius' shoulder.
Marius is a little taken aback because the last time that they remember seeing this lizard, it was almost as large as they are. But that is tempered by the fact that, you know, they know that this is Fee's little guy. And they shake their head and they're just like, I do not believe I will ever get used to this.
It bleps.
Perfect.
A+.
Very good. Who's up next?
So
were you going to say something, August?
Oh, I was going to suggest we return to idle dreaming if nobody has any ideas for scenes.
Oh.
But it sounds like Dirk does.
Yeah, I think I might have an idea for a scene. Because like we're being taken somewhere, and this is like a full space station. It's like a city or something, right? Okay. So I have an idea, and it's going to invoke my mentor. So I'm taking a look at various thingers. Um, because Danielle is the best human person in the world. That I don't know that that's necessarily going to help. Mm, mm. Oh, I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. I have made this thought work. And who is Sol is whose
Marius's.
contact?
Fine.
Marius's?
Yeah.
Okay. This almost feels too complicated.
What do you need Soul to do?
I need Soul to I need Soul to be here to direct us to a brothel.
All right, so there's a monkey's uncle on this space station.
Yeah.
His uncle's a lot different in this place.
We're led to the communal space, which also, I'm imagining it like a food court, only bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, we won't leave, and we just go into this bar that we know who runs it.
God, it's just the fucking Deep Space Nine promenade.
I
can't believe Sol was Quark.
Soul doesn't run the monkey's uncle. She just runs her business inside the monkey's uncle.
Okay.
From a very particular bar stool that is hers, and people have been known to get shanked for taking it.
That's fair.
So Sol's Morn.
We probably also know who owns this bar.
Yeah.
It's Carrie. Is who owns this bar. For sure.
Beautiful.
Hell. I love it. A plus. So, that was the extent of the thought I had. Is like between Sol and Aurora, they can somehow help us out. I didn't have more than that.
So Sol, out of all the bars and all the seedy joints, however it goes, these 4 idiots walk in.
Soul just kind of looks everyone up and down. Marius raises a hand in greeting, and it's a very stiff greeting, and Soul just kind of rolls her eyes and then knocks back the rest of her drink and just says, "What?"
And I want Rebel to say something here, because, like, if nothing else, Aurora is connected, and Aurora and Sol are both in Scum and Villainy. So, can we say that the two of them know each other?
I'm fine with that. Just looking back on your description of Aurora.
Oh, to be clear, Aurora is the madam of a brothel.
Okay.
So,
yeah, we can definitely say that Sol and Aurora know each other. that doesn't change Soul's reaction of
Oh, yeah.
just like what, but if Rebel is asking like, hey, you know, is this person on the station, Soul can be like, hang on, let me check something. Be like, yeah, be like, what's it to ya? And which is one of the scum and villainy moves, offer help or information at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're willing to pay, you get a token.
Ah, shit. What does Soul even want? I think Rebel like will just ask straight up. Well, what do you want?
Soul sighs and is just like, what does anyone want around here? Cred, good drink, hot meal. I'll be nice and let you pick. And for some reason I can't get Soul's voice today, so just pretend that her voice is, a kind of low southern drawl.
Mm-hmm. Let me check the Nova moves. Mm. None of these are helpful. Beans. Okay.
You can also just
Don't-
do a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking for help because I'm not sure. The problem with starting thoughts when you don't have an end to them. I think I think what Rebel says is okay. And pats himself down, then looks around for like a pen and paper. And is going to basically write down the name and contact information for someone they know who is like a world-class chef, and just be like, this person is a friend of mine, and if you use my name, they write it down, you will get a good meal.
I think Soul, like, looks Rebel up and down for a second, doesn't take the paper immediately, and then, is just like, fucking weirdo, takes the paper and, tells Rebel where Aurora can be found. I don't know, since this is, like, lockdown, I don't know that it's necessarily Aurora's place of employment,
Mm-hmm.
but we can we can find Aurora while we're here.
Okay. Oh, I should be looking at Scub and Villainy. That's what I should be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I am a donk.
And remember to take your token if you haven't already.
Oh, I get a token?
Yeah, because I offered you stuff at a cost
Oh, right. Okay.
from the Scum and Villainy moves.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I think that where we end up is probably like it is her it is somebody's house. It's like an apartment. It's somebody's place. And I think Aurora like opens the door, sees Rebel, and like you can like visibly see Aurora going, "Oh boy, this is gonna be something." She doesn't say that like all over her face. And but she like steps aside, lets
Dirk, you're cutting in and out.
did we lose some? Oh, beans, we lost me.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, my thing cut out for a second. I'm here. I swear I'm here. Okay, son of a biscuit. My thing keeps making that noise. I'm going to close like my Discord and my internet and reopen it. That usually helps.
Why
1
don't
second.
we take this option to take a 5-minute break? It's been an hour.
Sounds good.
I was gonna just tell Nora and Vivian, but that's fine.
We'll deal with them when we come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Be right back, everybody. And we're back. So, Dirk. Aurora takes Rebel like into pronouns her apartment.
Yeah, she invites all of us in. Like if anybody like hesitates or lags, she will like emphatically gesture them in. Like, come on.
I think Talonor and Vivian are lagging behind. I think she did have to gesture them in. And they come in, but they kind of hang back from the conversation that's happening with Aurora.
And I think the conversation with Aurora is mostly what do you need? How can I help you? And like we do need to be on this specific station, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, in that case, it's probably questions about like where do you need to go, that sort of thing. So, if Talonor and Vivian want to have a conversation, that can also happen. But is I think Aurora doesn't have like the answer so much as a direction. And I want to add a complication to her having a direction for us to go. Suggestions would be appreciated.
I feel like I added the last one.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I think she introduces the second escape move, a chance to escape within a rapidly closing window. I think she basically says, so yeah, I think what she basically says is, I'm actually about to go, and you guys can come with me. And I think our departure should be able to provide like a small distraction because the thing you're looking for is vaguely in this direction and we're going a different direction, so they'll be looking at us. But like that's also going to put everybody on high alert. So once we do this, the clock's going to be ticking.
Why is she leaving?
Because the Mandate have locked down this station and she's having trouble working. And more Mandate soldiers means more chance of her staff getting abused. Because it's harder to, make the Mandate not abuse her staff. So. But,
I do want to have a little breather conversation between Telenor and Vivian, because I think this explanation can be just long enough for that. Unfortunately, I think Vivian is trying not to be the one to start it, because that would mean showing weakness.
Before we do that, let's put some clarification on your statement there, Dirk, because
Yeah, we have a line.
we do have a line on abuse, but I think maybe we're talking about the kind of thing where it's like they don't pay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they don't pay, or not like actual abuse, but like Walmart cashiers get abused by customers, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also, they're gross. Ain't nobody want to service them.
They're gross. Yes.
Okay. So Telenor and Vivian are kind of hanging back while Aurora is explaining this to Marius and Rebel. And Telenor is like leaning against the wall with his head back, eyes closed, like doing deep breathing exercises. But it's not really working because he's just like trembling all over. And go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think looking at him in this moment gives Vivian just enough of a kick for them to turn on that, sort of charm that they have. And steel themselves enough to go, hey, we've got this. It's nothing we haven't done before, right? And they are also shaking.
I think Telenor like opens one eye and looks at Vivian. And he's like, yeah, you're not wrong. Not great to have to deal with it the third time in a row, though.
Yeah. It's not a great time. The other two aren't used to all of this.
They have their own things they're dealing with, I'm sure.
Oh, Vivian means the other two is in the other two versions of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think he closes the eye again and like hits his head back against the wall gently. That's... It feels like every word takes an enormous amount of effort. And he starts the sentence and then just kind of like trails off. Yeah, it's let me tell you that having dealt with it before doesn't exactly make it easier.
Do you think this version of Talonor would accept physical touch from Vivian?
Yes.
Okay, then they're just gonna squeeze his hand.
Mm-hmm. He squeezes back, and he kind of like he takes another like really deep breath. The thing is that we don't know what happens to the us when we leave. Those phone calls made it seem like, but also if we keep going, then rescuing Fee is the most important thing we could possibly do.
Vivian just nods. We've always had a past where we found ourselves. We're going to have a future.
Well, at least it's easier to shore up my convictions, I guess. God, this is bizarre.
What are you telling me? Hey, I'm sorry I let you down. Back there.
What, with the guards?
Yeah, it's not like me.
I mean, it's also
Well,
not like us to suddenly have two whole people in our heads with us. It's not your fault.
well, not going to let it happen again, in any case.
That's fair. And he squeezes their hand again and lets go. And kind of pushes off from the wall.
So, out of character, just to make sure I'm understanding what Aurora is proposing, she's proposing that we leave with her, going the opposite way of where Fee is? Or is she proposing we use that as a distraction so we can get to Fee?
She's saying you can use this as a distraction, and she's also saying if you want to leave instead of going after this person, this is a way you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't think any of us expected the station to be on lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also she's saying when we leave, it's going to cause a big noise and make it possibly more difficult for you guys to do what you want, what you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is where Vivian and Telnor kind of re-enter the main thrust here. I know Telnor and I aren't leaving.
Correct.
We've got to find Fee.
Marius, like, kind of pulls themselves up a little bit and is just like, I can't leave my lab assistant.
Hmm.
You know what that is?
Growth.
I mean, I was gonna say gay, but
It can be both.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
God.
right.
No, I think Fee would absolutely not
No.
in a million
No.
years.
No.
Never in a
Yeah,
million
no.
years.
I'm just making fun.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
So when everybody else turns her down, Aurora like puts a hand on Rebel's arm and um like Rebel just sort of gives her this like lopsided half smile and is just like, who do you think I am? And Aurora laughs a little, kind of sadly, and she gives Rebel a hug, and the two of them like hug real tight, like one of those A-class quality hugs you always wish you get.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls away and she says, all right, well, fine, be that way. I will make you scrub floors next time you come visit.
You know, Rebel. If anyone was going to help with a distraction,
Oh, the look Rebel gives Vivian. If looks could kill. And oh, actually, I think I have a vulnerable. No, that I don't think I want to go quite that far. No, actually, I think I should.
okay.
So, full disclosure for the listening audience, the first vulnerable move I picked was from the Defector playbook, because I was looking at the wrong playbook, because sometimes it'd be like that. But any which way, I think this is going to be the vulnerable move of losing control of themselves or the space between. And I think like Rebel, like I said, if looks could kill. And then Rebel says, look, I get that you don't like me, you don't trust me, and you would like me to not be here. However, I made a commitment. I will stand by it. If you've got a problem with it, fucking too bad.
And how is this? What are the consequences of this? Like losing control. Like what happens to Vivian or this space or to Rebel?
I think there's some kind of like psychic resonance or like something happens. Basically, Vivian takes psychic damage.
Sure.
And I think what it is, and you can tell me if this doesn't feel good to you, but I think what it would be is like Vivian, like getting, like basically the way Rebel felt when Vivian like brought these like concerns to them, and like it hurt, man. It hurt like a bitch. And Rebel just let it go. Um, because it's like, can't make myself understood anyway. And I think part of it is also like this one very crystal clear memory of Rebel, Aurora, and Sam all at about the age of maybe 12, 13, huddling in a closet, listening to a lot of various noises um, outside uh, the place they are at, and like basically making a promise to be there for each other. So,
Okay. So Vivian gets this blast of memory and pain and animosity. And I think the feelings in there are not necessarily even new to them. This version of them, anyway. But
mhm.
it's just a wave on top of all the other psychic bullshit.
Yep.
And they stagger backwards as if they've been slapped. And I think something that even Rebel wouldn't expect from this. For a moment, it looks like there's the imprint of a hand on their cheek, and it's not Rebel's hand.
Ooh.
But yeah, Rebel has made it very fucking clear that they are going with. And yeah, I think it is time we got into the action of it.
Are we waiting for me? I have no thoughts.
It was a recommendation of moving to a new scene.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can build it if no one else has an idea of how we proceed.
I do not have one.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead, August.
So, Jade mentioned something in the Discord, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of before the scene ending and the little lizard kind of makes a little disapproving shrieking sound, and I think that the space between makes a move.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, where is it? Creating an unexpected connection between people. And all four of us feel this wave of irritation and upset that is distinctly fee flavored.
Mm-hmm.
basically the idea this isn't helping, you need to get your act together.
Mm-hmm.
So we all get a token from this.
Word.
Nice.
Need to start spending tokens now.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So I think before we decide our next scene, I want to know a little bit about what the distraction looks like and how we leverage that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this a case of it's just drawing a bunch of people away from where we need to be? Is it going to do something in particular to the mandate systems? What are we working with here?
I think it's specifically going to draw people's attention away from where we need to be.
Okay.
Yeah, like nobody is supposed to be going in or out of this space station, and they already let one ship in that they weren't supposed to. They'll be damned if they're going to let another one out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. So how are we doing this? Are we just storming the place that we think Fee is, like the med bay or wherever? Are we trying to sneak around, like go through like maintenance tunnels? How are we tackling this?
I think sneaking around sounds a little more interesting to me. Because it has its own potential for like skirmishes,
Mm-hmm.
but it won't get us there quite so directly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the distraction pulls guards away from like some of the less important passageways kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives us an opportunity to get into these maintenance tunnels from these other places because we have that we've got that information from somewhere of how to navigate those kind of maintenance tunnels.
Yeah.
And the and so instead of being able just walking through a whole bunch of guards up to the med bay, it's taking advantage of, well, they're not guarding this hallway. We can use this hallway to get to XYZ secret passageway.
Mm-hmm. I want to use a scum and villainy move because it's spicy, but I don't know exactly how it would fit.
Which one are you thinking about?
Introduce or invite a betrayal. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking the betrayal isn't necessarily one of us betraying the others, but like we've been betrayed by the information we were given, like it was intentionally inaccurate or only partially accurate. But I'm not sure exactly how that manifests.
So I think maybe we got these maps from Align, who, for their own reasons, provided maps that have been falsified. And I think that what a falsified map means in this case is that we get lost in these tunnels because things like there aren't turns where there should be, and there are turns where there shouldn't be. There are dead ends, and it is eating up time that we are not sure how much of it we have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, the more we move around back here, the more likely it is that someone will notice us
Yeah.
being where we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scum and Villainy will get a token. Oh, you get it.
I already.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I think after like 3 or 4 turns that just don't fucking make sense, Talonor like pulls everyone to a stop, and I don't know, maybe tears the map in frustration. Just like, okay, well, that clearly was not correct information.
It's almost like we're back in the house.
Talonor shudders.
I think I'm gonna use a strong move. Receive a vision of the past, present, or future. I'm going to spend a token, and I think Rebel is going to say, "Can I take a look at that?"
Talonor
And-
halfway through crumpling it. Just like sheepishly uncrumples it.
Which half of the map would you like to look at?
Rebel is just like, nope, I get it. I'm gonna do a thing. And I think Rebel might actually say that. Nope, I get it. I'm gonna do a thing. And takes the map. And I think the vision Rebel is going to get is of the original map and how Awine has falsified this one. And is going to like basically scribble onto the map the correct route we need to take. And yeah. So
I think, to add some flavor to this, I think you get a vision of Awine with like their head in their hands as someone reports on a missing android. And you get a sense of like they would do anything to ensure the safety of the people that they love, including betray the rebellion.
oh,
And so like we then get this this cut of them talking to some mandate officer, and potentially giving them the information that made them lock down this place to begin with. They didn't say who would do it, but like, hey, there's maybe gonna be an attack, and that's what caused the lockdown in the first place, and then also taking this map and making some changes to it.
And I think when they finish correcting the map, they're gonna look at Talonor and say, don't be too hard on the person who gave you this. They were trying to protect you. And they don't want to lose anybody else they care about.
I'm gonna pick up the mandate real quick. And we hear in the distance, although it's difficult to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from because the halls are twisting, the maintenance tunnels are twisting and turning, but we hear in the distance the sounds of boots on the metal grating that we're standing on, and it's coming closer. So, giving Mandate another token for foreshadowing a larger threat.
I think Talonor, frowns, and he says, some things are more important. But he picks up the map, reorients himself, and points down a hallway, that way.
Is that seen?
I think that's seen.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think that we should actually find where Fee is just yet.
No, yeah. We still got 2 hours.
Yeah. We've got plenty of time for things to go terribly wrong.
Delightful.
So my next question is, as we re-enter Idle Dreaming, do we, we've got an inkling of how these tunnels actually work now, but do we get outfoxed by the Mandate agents that are clearly not necessarily coming for us, but at least sweeping the area out of an abundance of caution?
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be them outfoxing us, as, we weren't quick enough getting through the tunnels, and now we're rapidly becoming trapped. How's Marius doing?
Oh boy. I think that they look like they're holding it together.
Mm-hmm.
But of the people that would be here, I think Fee is the one who would be able to tell that they're off.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, they've worked pretty closely together, and, Fee's demonstrated being able to read Marius pretty well. If not, just read them for filth. Actually, I think maybe Palinor notices that Marius is acting out of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Not because Talinor, not because our Talinor necessarily would know, but, going rogue Talinor
Mm-hmm.
already doesn't trust Marius
Mm-hmm.
and has kept an eye on them.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I think in that vein, I kind of want to see what that looks like.
okay.
So I think we're running through the halls. Talinor has given up the map to Rebel because while Rebel may have fixed the map, he can't read their handwriting or interpret all of the things that Zay put onto the map. So after a hot minute, he's just like, yeah, no, here. And hands the map over and falls back in the kind of marching order. And I think when he does that, he gets a good look at Marius for maybe the first time in a hot minute. Because earlier he was kind of in his own head and then concerned with getting the information they needed. And so he drops back with Marius and fixes them with like a... It's not withering, but it is a I don't like you, so I'm not asking this purely for your well-being kind of stare.
Mm-hmm.
But like, are you okay?
What title would Talinor be going by in this particular universe?
I think he earned the title of lieutenant, but I don't think he uses that title ever anymore.
Oh, good. I think Marius just kind of goes, Lieutenant, you are having just as strange a day as I am. I think it's safe to say that none of us are, and they make air quotes, okay.
Talinor rolls his eyes and says, I don't actually care for your well-being right now. If you'd asked me, 2 hours and another universe ago, I would have. But right now, I can find it really difficult. I'm finding it really difficult to care for your actual well-being. What I do care about is whether you're holding it together enough to actually complete this mission.
I'm going to make a vulnerable move here really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I need to start spending tokens. I think I think Talinor, of all the people here, like I said, Talinor's the one who can tell when Marius is lying.
Mm-hmm.
And Marius says, I'm capable of completing any mission that's put in front of me. That's why I'm here.
And I can tell that's a lie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But my vulnerable move is to lie to a comrade about your capabilities or intentions, so...
No, it's great. I love it. And... I... Yeah, okay. So I think Talinor kind of does like a soft growl and pushes Marius against the wall. And like has an arm across their collarbone kind of thing. And he's just like, I don't... Fuck.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh my god, Shrog.
I don't think that... No, hold on. What was I going to say? I don't think that's true, Marius. I think you fail a whole lot more than you tell people. And that's fine, he says through gritted teeth.
Marius is like, the Manila incident was not my fault.
I'm not even talking about the Manila incident. The entire reason that I'm here right now, and he doesn't specify which here he's talking about, is because of you. And on the one hand, I think that this is where I need to be. But on the other hand, I have seen you fail on more than one occasion. And so when you lie to my face like that, I take it a little personally. I don't...
Oh god.
Go ahead.
I just had the most... Oh my god. This is gonna be so stupid. Marius is so stupid. They're cancelled.
Oh no.
Marius just kind of like explodes and says, I had a husband. Do you know how distressing that is?
Oh my god.
Like I said, it's so stupid.
Oh, God bless this person who was just the stupidest motherfucker on the planet.
In the background is the sound of Rebel smacking themselves in the face.
I think that Talinor goes like a brilliant shade of red. And you can visibly see him holding back every instinctual urge that particular comment brings up in him. Most of which are incredibly violent. Marius knows what it looks like when somebody looks at them and intends violence. Telenor somehow holds all of that back and swallows. And says, I do, in fact, know what that's like, Marius. And, like, he takes it like a shaky breath. I thank you for admitting that you're having some issues. Now, if we could please have a slightly less rose-colored discussion of what your actual capabilities are right now, I would appreciate that.
Marius.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Oh, just partly to save Marius from this, and partly because I think it's funny. Is this the point at which, like, the trap is sprung and whatnot? Is it possible that a certain person's loud outburst has alerted the mandate to our whereabouts?
Love it.
I do like that a lot.
A plus.
Yeah. So let me just...
Does Marius start to
take
say
that.
something and then get interrupted, or do you think that's when the interruption happens, is before Marius can say anything?
I think, for the sake of protecting Marius, I think it's before they can say anything.
So yeah, I think we are suddenly finding ourselves cut off on either side. Or cut off at least from the front. By just a deluge of mandate soldiers. I think Vivian growls, I think a demonstration might be in order. But instead steps forward. I'm going to make a vulnerable move. Actually, this probably isn't a vulnerable move. I think this is just the thing they're doing this moment. I think they've got this imposing combat armor. I think part of that is this incredibly thick shielding on their arm, like across their forearm. And they just give this like jerking gesture, and with like chick, 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 you have this shield extending out from either side. And like cross braces extend out, so they've got this just full kite shield.
Good shit.
Just attached to their armor. And they are going to yell at everyone to go and find an alternate route. How do we like this being an instance of the bond getting separated?
Yeah, I dig
Love
that.
it.
I dig that.
And it's really funny because I think in this moment, Rebel would actually not run and would stay with Vivian to help make sure they have a way out. Unless we
Okay.
want something else.
August. August, no.
Oh no! We lost August.
There they are.
Man, what a fortuitous pairing up of people at this moment.
I know,
Truly
right?
the order that this should go in.
Dagnabbit.
Yep.
Poor August.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Stop that.
Mode.
Better?
Am I back?
We can hear you.
You appear to be.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you, cutie.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I like the idea that Marius does in fact have some sort of necessary skill for...
Yeah, I was thinking about using one of my strong moves. Reveal a tool you need is already on hand, concealed. The only thing that springs to mind is smoke bombs. But
I was thinking more along the lines of something that is... I mean, that also is good, but in addition to that, something that is necessary in order to get Fee out. Being the impetus that, like, this is the reason why Talonor would listen to Vivian without question and just drag Marius the fuck out of there.
okay.
But I do like the idea of you having some kind of smoke bomb, and that is how Vivian et al. Are able to get away.
Yeah. So, I have hidden pockets. I pull a smoke grenade. Like I imagine it's like actually just very tiny, very fits in the palm of Marius's hand. They press a couple of buttons on it and chuck it down the hall. The mandate people are like, what the hell is that? And then the smoke goes off. And that's when we're able to beat our retreat.
Nice.
Danielle, I have given Talonor a token for the bond move of getting separated.
Okay. So we end up, like, running down different hallways, essentially. The party split in twain in order to make use of this distraction that Marius has provided. And I imagine also Vivian just, like, making a whole ruckus, trying to draw people away as well. Because that sounds like something they would do.
Yeah. And I think Rebel probably, like, does something to help, like, enhance the sounds that Vivian is making, or to make them sound like they're coming from slightly different directions, something like that.
Yeah. And, like, also, you are a Nova with an Astral Blade. This is going to draw attention as well.
Yeah, I forgot about the Astral Blade. Yeah, fully
You could
that.
just draw attention by being your own dang self.
Yeah. Yeah, just be like, oh yeah, shit, I do have an Astral Blade. Shing.
Vivian wasn't wrong about Rebel being, good at being the distraction. Which pairing do we want to jump to first?
Well, we just kind of
'cause I
did
think-
Talonor and Marius, so...
I was saying we could kind of pick that conversation back up. And this may be the point where we reveal a little bit more about like where Fee is.
Mm.
Because I feel like maybe you two are able to get more in that direction.
What do you think, August?
I like that idea.
Okay. So we end up off down a separate hallway. Talonor is basically has Marius by like the scruff of their shirt and is half dragging them down the hallway. And they stop once Talonor has kind of determined that they're far enough away that they can rest. I don't imagine Marius is particularly good at running.
No. No, they are not. They're stereotypical academic type, don't have skipped leg day. Skipped arm day, skipped all days. So yeah, that's fun for everybody involved.
Does Marius pick up right where they left off?
I think so. I think that they're still just expressing disbelief at just the memories that they have. I'm trying to think what they would say. I think that they're just describing the situation. Like, I had a husband and my husband's partner, and I had to betray them. And now I'm here, and it is the... I'm just paraphrasing because I can't think exactly how Marius would say it, but just, you know, I did these things, and now I'm here, and I've done so many other things. But the thing that they're most hung up on is the fact that they had a partner, and I don't know exactly how to describe how Marius would describe their relationship to Annabelle, but it's clear that they don't know how to parse that they had that kind of intimacy.
I like that. So what I'm getting from this that I don't think I fully clocked before is it doesn't... Do you think Marius knows that Talonor had a husband and that husband is dead?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
like, is it the
I'm
kind
getting
of
the
thing,
vibe.
like, is that the kind of thing that Talonor broadcasts?
No.
Because, like, Marius is not going to pick up on that.
Because, you know, we have the question of their relationship at the beginning, which is, like, Marius half lying and being like, yeah, you know, I lost someone too, and they went out, you know, I had to leave them behind, and this helped me get over it. or, I lost them, and this helped me get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of using that to leverage against Talonor, but I don't think that they leveraged it in bad faith. I think they thought that they were relating to Talonor about the same thing. Like, Talonor was obliquely referencing this partner that he lost, and Marius is like, yeah, see, I lost a partner too.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until later that Talonor found out and is like, and maybe he feels like he was manipulated into this when that wasn't even necessarily the case. Does that make sense?
It does.
And so I think Talonor just kind of like watches Marius babble for a little bit, and he looks like he's coming to an understanding, like a realization. And oh my god, incredible. I think he stops Marius and like puts his hands on Marius' shoulders in a significantly less aggressive move than previously. And he kind of like shakes Marius a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Marius, a lot of people have a lot of issues with you. We've had this conversation before.
Marius gives Talonor a, like, no shit look.
But that doesn't mean that you're unlovable.
I think this silence is in character.
Mm-hmm. I have a husband. Had a husband. Have had husbands. Kind of blinking like none of this makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And in every case, he loved me while I was the person I was, before I changed, before I got better, before I learned the costs of my actions and the awful realization of the things that I was actually doing and the harm I was doing. And he loved me anyway. If someone can love that me, then I can only think that there's people out there who would find it easy to love you.
I think Marius or once in their life, understands that Talonor is being vulnerable with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of slump a little and say, he made me want to be the kind of person who could save people. And I don't know how to deal with that.
I think this plays into my lateral move. What can your character share that would make me feel sympathy? So I'm going to give you one of my tokens. And and he kind of like gives a rueful smile. Wow, closed captions, you sure tried and got it very wrong. And he says, I hope you believe me when I say that I understand that feeling completely. We're going to save Fee. And if my memories are true, then in so doing, we're gonna save a whole lot of people. We can be the people who do that. We will be the people who do that. What's the most important step a person can make?
The first one.
Talonor smiles. It's not, though. The first step isn't the most important one. It's the next step. It's that you keep going and you keep taking the next step. We've made the first step. We're here. We have to keep taking the next step.
Marius nods, visibly pulls themselves back together, and says, well, suppose we should keep going.
Yeah. Thank you for telling me.
I don't think Marius says anything to that.
I think that might be seen.
Yeah.
Alright, Dirk. Here's where we're at.
How's it going?
Yeah, I think that this has been just absolute tooth and nail. And I think we reach a moment where we have taken them out for a second. We've barricaded ourselves in some, like we've closed the blast doors on them or whatever.
Mhm.
And I think there's maybe this. I mean, correct me if I'm off base, but I like the visual of Rebel and Vivian taking a breather, and Rebel has their Aster Blade. You know, it's a light weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to wield the space between. It's not as much exertion, whereas Vivian is using this plasma axe and, their arm shield, and has just battered themselves to get to the same point. It's not like Rebel is effortless, but it's just clear that there is a difference there.
Mm-hmm.
That it takes fighting twice as hard to reach the same result. It's different costs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think this is where we find ourselves having just a moment to recuperate.
Mm-hmm. I think Rebel is like standing with their back against like a wall or a door or something, face turned up towards the ceiling, eyes closed. And I think Rebel starts this off by saying, I had a thought, and then I realized the way I wanted to bring it up um wouldn't have quite made sense, but okay. Um Rebel says, so back at Aurora's.
Look, I'm not gonna complain that you are with me right now. I still think maybe you could have gone with her. Or gone with them? Sorry,
Her.
me. Yeah, gone with her.
I was going to apologize for what I did while we were there, because I am supposed to be a Nova, and I am supposed to have more self-control than to just unleash my powers on innocent and undeserving people. And look, I know I'm not fucking Talonor, but I don't know where you got the idea that I would just and Rebel just sort of trails off, like can't even figure out how to finish that sentence.
Well, first of all, don't know that I'd say I was undeserving of what you did to me. But I'm glad that control is something that you want to work towards.
I have control. I have so much more control than I let other people see because my struggles are not your burden.
What fucking struggles? Do you know how much I've had to sacrifice in this war? Do you understand? What have you had to give up?
And Rebel looks at Vivian, and it is a deeply serious expression that I think some version of Vivian has seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Not this one, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rebel just looks at Vivian for a long, long moment and says, I'm going to pretend for just a moment that you genuinely did not think of the full and total implications of that question. I'm just going to assume for just a moment that you are aware of the fact that there doesn't have to be war for people to suffer and hurt and have to leave behind the people they love. I'm going to assume you understand that even in times of peace, people die and get killed for many, many reasons. I'm going to assume this because if I assume anything else, we're going to have to fight. And the way I'm feeling right now, you will not win. And then Rebel takes a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and says, that's unfair of me. I know. I apologize. No, I haven't lost anybody in the war. I haven't fought in the war. I have intentionally done my best to stay away from war. Because and they kind of like wrinkle their nose a little bit and make this expression that I cannot properly describe, but there are words that Rebel is like putting together and not quite saying yet. And Rebel says, I thought I was gonna know what I was gonna have Rebel say when I got to the end of that. I think at this point, Rebel just takes another breath and says, I'm sorry that you have lost people and that you have suffered. I really genuinely am. Nobody deserves that. But I would appreciate if you would at least make an attempt to understand that there are other ways a person can be suffering. And I'd tell you more about it, but honestly, only a third of that story is mine to tell. And you're a decent person, Vivian. Like, it's always been obvious across multiple lives. You're a decent person, and you're trying, and you want to do what is good and right. That's obvious. And I'm trying to be vague gesture at Vivian. Someone like you. But I'm not you. I just God, it's not gonna kill you to laugh sometimes. Okay, I've been talking too much. I'm gonna shut up now. Your turn.
Okay. It's not gonna kill you to laugh sometimes. There is kind of a haunted look crosses Vivian's face. It's like, I used to want nothing more than to laugh and to make the people I cared about laugh. But this is not a galaxy where I get to have that. You're right. I don't understand what is out there for you that is bigger than this war. But the mandate is powerful, and to people like me, they are everywhere. And people like me, it seems, are the only thing stopping them from getting farther.
I didn't say it was bigger. I just said it was different.
Well, but you made a choice, though. Whatever it is, you made a choice to prioritize that. Until now. I'm glad you're here now. But no,
I
I
didn't.
don't think I'll ever understand.
Yeah, you really don't, because I didn't make a choice to prioritize that. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't prioritized that, because you know where I'd be? Dead. I would not have been able to have food or a home, or maybe I would be alive and something else would have happened. Sometimes people have to choose to live, and they have to do that first. I had the luxury, and I do need you to understand this points at the floor, generally indicating the situation. This, doing this, fighting this war, this is the luxury.
I think Vivian almost gets angry again, but something just clicks and they just kind of crumple, just sitting, knees up, and they just start shaking, put their head in their hands like, God, what happened to me? I used to care so much. I'm tired, Rebel.
Rebel sits down in front of Vivian, crosses their legs under themselves, pointedly does not touch Vivian,
Mhm.
and says, I don't know what happened to you. I'm sorry it happened. You deserve better.
Vivian just chuckles, and there's a ghost of the old smirk. I'm just like, well, I guess in one word, war. War happened to me. I'm glad you missed it.
I'm not. I'd like to be. But like I said, we all have our own struggles.
I wish I saw yours. But it just seems so much easier to be you.
Huh. It takes a long, long time and a lot of work to make it seem this easy to be me.
I think there's a sound outside the door. There's reinforcements trying to get back. Vivian just slowly gets back up, cracks their neck, reignites their plasma axe. Well, I better start practicing then.
And um Rebel rolls up to their feet, pulls out the Astra Blade and says, I've got an idea. You're probably not going to like it. And I'm going to spend a token to use the strong move Use the space between to protect yourself or others. And I don't know what this looks like, but I think the end result is that we don't have a whole lot of problem with the mandate soldiers in this particular hallway.
All right. I think that is a good place to jump scenes. So I will say this much. I think maybe after whatever is the next scene with Talonor, or during, maybe just take a look at that last strong move on the loyal book, and I can have that in the back pocket.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Good shit. So I think Talonor and Marius have made significant headway towards their destination. I think that Vivian and Rebel's plan / distraction has worked great. And the I think Fee is in a med bay, but it's not like the actual med bay. It's prisoner med bay. And maybe we half expected them to just be in a cell. But I think they are receiving active support from doctors. And I think we find this out when we come out of the maintenance tunnels in the kind of prison sector. And I'm imagining just a see-through, like, glass walls kind of bullshit. Because prisoners don't get privacy. And also the drama. And so we're hiding behind some small cover. And, you know, we can see straight into the med bay. And it's like, we're going to go down the hall to where we think the prison block is that they're being kept. But we notice that Fee is in this med area. And also the place is crawling with fucking guards. Because at this point, not only have they had a ship come in, a ship leave, they know that something is happening, which is why the lockdown is here. And also, they have heard their compatriots in the tunnel reporting back that they're in pursuit of some suspects. But that they don't think that it was all of the suspects that they're pursuing. They think there are others. And so this place is just fucking crawling with guards. And I think this is observe that the objective of your mission is in sight. Cat. It's just your tail. It is not an enemy you need to run away from. Right. Observe the objective of your mission is in sight, but that it lies behind a grave obstacle. And the we can see into the med bay past these just an obscene number of guards. And Fee is floating in like some weird goo that is providing them with sustenance in their unconscious state. And also is glowing. And the lizard that is still with us and is riding on Marius' shoulder, like chirps, and like pulses with a brief flash of light that Fee then replicates, the pattern of flashing light. And Talonor is just like, well, fuck.
I have a strong move, but I'm not sure how to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the spy's strong moves is move you and your comrades around an obstacle that you would be unable to overcome directly. We definitely can't overcome this directly, but I'm having trouble figuring out how we maneuver around this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe does Marius leverage a combination of being a spy in this universe with having been a spy, having been a professor in a different one?
I'm not sure I follow. Like,
basically, I sort of mean like having an idea of how they're supposed to interact with professionals of this sort. And also, doesn't Marius have a oh wait, no, that is Vivian. I was gonna say, doesn't Marius have another uniform, but that's Vivian. But you did say that Marius was in a mandate uniform, right?
yes. Oh, sorry, I dropped something.
So
Yes, Marius is wearing a mandate uniform.
yeah. So, like Jade says, flash some fake credentials. Expert here to see the weird glowy prisoner.
I do have the glowy lizard. I could use the glowy lizard as like, hey, I found this. We need to run some tests on it. It's reacting with the test subject number 1. So that could help get us closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could get us in the room, and then the next problem is getting out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I've got.
Is this a situation where Marius is almost like betraying the lizard by handing it over, and the mandate like snaps it into a little containment field?
Oh.
Oh.
But it does get you where you need to be.
Baby.
We'll get the lizard out, like... The lizard is part of who we're getting out, so...
Yeah.
They
But we
don't...
Original Erwin's gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just won't tell him.
We won't tell him about the endangerment of animals. All right.
Yeah, I do. I like that. And we get into the room. We are separated from Fee by a tube of glass, and then from Freedom by literally everything else in this station. Well, we might have to give our lives for this.
Yeah. But we've got to come up with a way that we can still facilitate getting Fee out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Marius have the tool that we needed to do this?
We can get Fee out of the tube for sure, but getting past the guards is the next big question.
Mm-hmm.
I still have 2 tokens left though, and that'll allow me to pull a piece of equipment or a piece of intelligence, or both, from up my sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what equipment or intelligence would be most useful at this particular juncture?
Oh, I'm dumb. I have a lateral move that can help, I think. So we have to get there first, but
Yeah, I was... Yeah, sorry, I'm all over the place right now.
It's all
Flipping through
good.
multiple documents.
Yeah.
So many tabs.
so many tabs.
So we get into this med bay, and I think it makes sense that Marius threw as part of this costume / part that they are playing. The doctors begin to remove Fee from their tube. It's like a capital P process, but like ostensibly just to lay them out on some kind of table for Marius to do whatever fucking tests that they want.
Oh man, I had an idea for something that Marius might have, but I don't know if we necessarily want to go there.
What is it?
I'm imagining it's like an electronic, like a patch that you can slap on somebody's skin that, like, or like on their neck next to their brainstem that effectively like yerks them.
Uh-huh.
Oh my.
So that way we get somebody else on our side.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's like too much. So I'm putting it up there. Feel free to veto, because I know mind control can be unsavory for folks. So
Yeah, what if instead of being yerked, it's just like they become much more susceptible to suggestion?
Okay.
Because then you can say, well, it's releasing some kind of, I don't know, hormone, or other brain chemical that just like, yeah, we like this person. This person's great.
Yeah, so one of the main people, like, who's obviously in charge, is just like, Marius comes up to them and like is leaned down towards Fee and like drags them down to lean towards Fee in the examination, and in doing so, like palms the patch and slaps it on the back of the researcher's neck.
Good.
And so now we have a potential ally in the room with us, at least.
Good.
So I think Maria suggests that we need to move Fee and the lizard. And I think this is where the other person being suggestible comes in, where they're like, "Oh yes, I can understand needing to move to a different location to do some testing."
Yeah. Very dystopian, like, I'm using proprietary equipment and I can't use it in this particular setting. I need to have privacy.
Oh, God.
So instead of onto a table, they load Fee onto, like, a gurney. I kind of want to know what Rebel and Vivian are doing.
God, it would just... This is gonna make a right mess of things, isn't it?
Do it!
Definitely.
Yep.
Do it.
Do it, coward!
Alright. So this is almost working. Marius and Talinor are almost gonna get away with Fee. And Vivian and Rebel don't know that. Vivian just knows that Talinor is not where they are. And that cannot be. And they are going... I'm going to use my strong move to smash every barrier stopping you from reuniting with someone. Because this is a linked move, I am targeting a bonded character, and so you get one of my tokens, Danielle.
Okay.
And yeah, we might end up needing those, because this is the two of these people absolutely just bursting in to this medical facility, just carving through the security, carving a path through. And that's when the people who aren't under the effects of a patch realize that shit might be not as under control as they thought.
Very good.
Right, time for plan B, and Marius pulls out a gun.
God, Marius with a gun is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard of in my life.
God. Very good.
Yeah, and that's my last token, so...
Let's see. Let's look at the mandate here.
Yeah, we could put someone in immediate danger. We have several choices.
So Rebel and Vivian Burston. Immediately there's a whole lot of shouting and violence that start happening. Talonor and Marius are beginning, like, have Fee on a gurney, and, like, have just started to push them out of the med bay. And Marius sees what's going on, pulls a gun. Talonor sees what's going on, pulls his Astroblade. And all hell breaks loose. And did you have a
I
thought?
think the mandate is... Yeah, I think the mandate is going to use a move. Hey, Marius, you know how you don't have any tokens right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the mandate is going to intercept information or supplies and give a token to whom you've taken from. Whoever is in charge of this facility, this like particular experiment with Fee's connection to the space between, is going to order their subordinates to get the lizard out of here. Because
oh no!
If they've compromised, if Fee is compromised, they can at least experiment on that.
Wait,
I
the lizard
regret.
can teleport.
They don't know that. That's very good. I like that. What does Marius do?
Oh, man.
Right.
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't think that... So, I think Marius pulled a gun, but I don't know if they're actually capable of using it. Let me have a look at my moves. I could always cause collateral damage to someone who didn't have it coming.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
But I don't know who would be collateral damage. That's the thing. Because, like, all the mandate people would have it coming. So the only people who wouldn't have it coming would be, like...
I mean, Talonor is right next to you.
Yeah, Talonor or the lizard are the two that I'm thinking of, and the lizard is off the table, so...
Hey,
hurt me.
What if, sorry,
Go ahead.
Danielle.
Go ahead,
What
Sean.
if Rebel notices at the last second that the one that Marius is going to shoot is Sam?
Oh.
Oh, ha. Oh, fuck. Ah, I can't believe you've done this to me. Fuck.
Does Rebel get in the way?
Give me a second.
Sure. Meanwhile, Little Bit is over here making little chirping noises at me, and it's very cute.
No.
Baby. Uh, yeah, no. No, I have tokens. I have a token. I will use the space between to protect Sam. By telling that bitch to duck. Jade, you're not even playing.
So, Dirk, please understand. If you're protecting Sam, telling them to duck, these guys are probably going to get away with the lizard. Is that what Rebel is willing to sacrifice?
The lizard can teleport.
All right. Okay. You are trusting that.
I am trusting that. Don't make me doubt my decisions, you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but the mushrooms will teleport the lizard. And the mushrooms are growing on the lizard. The lizard will be teleported.
Okay, did I take that token from the mandate like I was supposed to? And then just scroll all the way down. Where do we keep tokens for our pillars?
Also,
Below the characters.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just blind. Okay. Mandate has one token now.
I think it's at this point, there's only suggestibility can only go so far. So I think at this point the head scientist realizes what's going on and sees Marius with the gun and starts wrestling with Marius to get the gun from them.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's Talonor doing? I feel like he hasn't taken an action in a second.
Talonor is... Since... once Marius is involved in this, like, wrestling match, Talonor takes over pushing the gurney. And I mean, he's just going to run with it, essentially, because the most important thing right now is getting Fee out. So yeah, like they will lash out at anyone who comes directly to stop them, but they
Mhm.
also aren't turning around to help the others.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to propose 2 moves in quick succession.
Mm-hmm.
I think in this moment, Vivian steps in. I'm using a strong move, draw fire and take a hit, but refuse to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I think they cover Talinor's escape with Fee. And I'd like to use the Bonds Pillar move and ask us what shared memory does this situation bring to mind?
Mm. Um, is this the reverse of how they met?
I do like that. I want to put a spin on it, though,
Mm-hmm.
and say that in that situation, Vivian was the one Talinor was getting out,
Mm.
Oh.
and that someone else took the fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's good shit.
This hurts me.
Is Marius winning? Is Marius winning his fight?
You winning?
That sounds like something. That sounds like something they would do, right? Win a fight.
Well, the other person is also a scientist, so I give him 50-50 odds. This is
Oh my God,
like a
that's so
slap
funny.
fight between two twiggy nerds. Except there's a gun involved. So just looking at my moves again. I don't want to keep pulling stuff out of my sleeve. I feel like I've done that plenty. I think it's more fun if Marius isn't winning.
Mhm.
Give Mandate another token for immediate threat, because now there's another person with a gun in the room. But I think I mean, this is endgame, so I want to say I invoke the fate move, sacrifice yourself for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Which means y'all get to divide my 2 tokens amongst yourselves as you see fit. Because if there are any players that share this fate but have not yet invoked this move, you may give them your remaining tokens. And I am supposed to show how my final act is critical to your party achieving their ultimate goal, and I think it's one of those things where Marius lost the gun, but they're able to still get this person to the ground, so they can't go for Talonor. And I think this is a case of, like, Marius does get grievously injured. Not going to go into detail, but, you know, there's a gun involved. Gun violence can be grievous, so... But it gives Talonor enough of a window to get B out without taking fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to give one of my tokens to Rebel and one of my tokens to Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn. I think Rebel is the last one out of the room. And there's just a moment where Sam notices Rebel's there too. And I think Rebel is going to point at whoever's got the lizard. And I don't know if Sam will actually do anything about this at this point in time, but I think that's what Rebel's going to do before leaving. And I am... I don't know why I keep starting things when I don't know how... Oh, right. I remember what I was going to do. I was going to do a lateral move to heal Fee. But, Oh, no, I know what happens. So, I think the intent is to heal Fee so that Fee might be able to, like, get up and run on their own or something like that. But what happens is Rebel actually just sort of establishes a connection to the space between, sort of through Fee, because that's what Rebel was trying to do, is use the space between to heal Fee. And instead what happens is Rebel gets these images of, like, bright light and bare skin and the sense of needing something. And is just like so I'm gonna give a token to the space between. Since I'm not gonna be giving that token to Fee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I might also use that final move.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look at it real quick. Maybe now is not the time for it, because we still have to get, like, out of here. Yeah?
Here's what I suggest. I think if we're close enough to the end, we can probably transition to finishing this mission. And I think whatever our next teleportation can happen maybe just before we find out how things shake out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Vivian is going to I'm going to spend the token that I got from Marius to use the same move of drawing fire and taking a hit. I'm going to just continue to get blasted. Just every extendable shield I have on this armor is fully out, just getting scored. But I do get Marius, who may or may not still be breathing. I think the two of us are the last to actually get out of the room. This connection with the space between is made with Fee, and they're starting to glow even brighter than they were before. Think there is a crackle of whatever communications that we have, and we hear a voice of someone that we know from either intelligence or just deliberation. This is Voight. We picked up your signal, and we are ready to collect O'Reilly at the third level southeast entrance. Get your asses out of there.
Uh-huh.
And I think we... Oh, no, you go ahead if you had the next piece.
Keep going.
And I'm going to suggest that the last things that the four of us feel before the jump happens is stepping onto the awaiting craft, and before we can really twig what's happened, who managed to live, who managed to die, even if this craft managed to escape, we realize that there's the sensation of being on a different vessel, and the sound of the waves.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I think the transition is less instantaneous than it has been the previous couple of times.
Mhm.
I think it's they're running down the hallways. There's a lot of shouting and a lot of just people coming in from every direction to try to stop them. There's a lot of gunfire, a lot of like fancy new age space laser fire. And through it, like Rebel is yelling to Talonor that like Fee needs light. And Talonor like taking a fucking detour to the grow house where the space station grows like the food for this floor or whatever. And just like pelting through a greenhouse. And just plants getting uprooted and thrown and just fucking destroyed by the chaos that follows behind this whole parade. And as we all run under the ultraviolet lights in the greenhouse, there's a distinct feeling of like the sun on our skin. And at some point, the mandate starts like firing heavy ammunition type rounds that when they explode, it like rocks the air and it feels like the deck is slipping and sliding beneath our feet as we run, as if it's moving.
Oh, I love that.
And there's just a trail of destruction and blood behind us as we make this sprint. No one is getting out unscathed. And there's like the shouts and screams of the people around us are intermingled with like the cries of seabirds. And Fee is growing brighter and brighter. And we crash into the airlock where the ship is waiting for us. And like we can't even wait for the vacuum to properly switch because the mandate is that close behind. They're so close to being able to just like shut everything down. And so we get that like lack of oxygen for a moment before we all stumble onto the new ship, and it closes its doors and begins to repressurize. And we feel the breeze of the repressurization on our faces, and it smells salty. And as the airlock doors open again, and we, the audience, are about to look at this crew and kind of get our first less chaotic look of how they all fared, we slam cut to a very different vessel, and like wooden doors closing and the creaking of ropes, and the sound of waves against the hull.
Hell yeah.
Fucking hell. A+.
Thank you, Danielle, so much for that word picture.
Mhm.
Thank you, Shrog, so much for your word picture. Yeah, so this has been the Ultraviolet Catastrophe, Chapter 3. Join us again next week, where we will be playing Ocean Tides. Yeah. That's right, we do it in reverse order, so, playing with me today has been Shrog.
I have been Shrog. You can continue to find me on the internet at various places, presumably containing the word secret and frog. I appreciated very much getting to play Vivian as a space paladin.
Hell yeah, it was so good. We've also had Dirk.
Hi, I'm Dirk. You will not be finding me anywhere because I have been destroyed by my friends and their very, very good words. But if you want to go looking for something that looks like me, you can try Hope's Hearth Pod. Yeah.
We've also had Danielle.
I've been Danielle. You can continue to find me on the internet wherever you get good content at Red-tailed Hawk 90.
And I've been August. You can find me on Twitter at HarpyDora, on Tumblr at Strange Harpy. You can find Standing Stones at Stones _standing on Twitter. We have a Tumblr, but I'm really bad at updating it. What I think it's Standing Stones Productions. Yeah, like I said, join us next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, where we will be embarking on Chapter 4.
Ooh.
Stay safe out there, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
They.